bit sassy, a little bit crazy, a little bit classy. We got dreams and we got goals. We're just a couple of old sassholes.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to A Couple of Sassholes podcast. I'm Brooklyn Johnson.
And I'm Heather Terry.
And for anyone who doesn't know, this is our power hour of true crime where we talk about fucked up shit, fucked up people doing fucked up shit, usually for fucked up reasons or for no reasons at all. Shit, you'd think I had taken a vacation.
I think it's because you hesitated on the shoulder.
Did.
The shoulder shimmy.
My shimmy was kind of off. You know, times are hard. Lots happening.
A lot is happening.
It's hard enough to remember the first 3 sentences I say on every fucking episode.
I mean, we've only have like 130 something episodes out. So,
This is true.
You'll catch on.
You're right. I'm also going to cough. So for any of our ASMR people, I'm going to clear my throat a lot this episode. I can already tell.
Remember that song? Oh, there she goes again.
I had to get it out.
That song.
It's very itchy.
Itchy. Getchy, yeah. I'm musical today.
Yes. Yes, you are.
I know.
So this weekend.
This weekend.
This
past weekend.
So for anyone who doesn't know, we are the show promoters for the Western Kentucky Outdoor Expo because, you know, we podcast and we produce events and shows.
That's right.
And so we've been working on that one. Well, the Eastern Kentucky Outdoor Expo was this weekend. It was over in
Moorhead,
Kentucky, which in your phone, it likes to say Forehead, Kentucky.
Yes.
At least for our iPhones.
And I refuse to change it.
Yes. So we went there and it was a super freaking cute town, like cutest town, way too far of a drive from like Owensboro to like, don't get me wrong, it's a great place, but not enough for the drive unless you have like something you're going for.
Yeah, I don't think I would travel 3.5 hours from here for that.
No.
But there was an event.
Maybe one of the sugar cookies.
Okay.
From where was it? Rockabees? No.
Rutabaker's.
Yeah.
ROOT. Rutabaker's. They were so nice, so cute. And those sugar cookies have given me life.
We ate them within 48 hours.
I have been savoring them and taking a little nibble.
That's literally what I did. I did it by bites.
Right.
And I just needed a bite of them.
Yes.
It's my heroin.
So if anyone is in, it's close to Forehead, Kentucky.
Moorhead, Kentucky, man. You got to go there.
Rutabaker's.
It is the tits.
It is. Yes.
Did you bring me my chocolate one that you said I could have one of?
What?
The 4 little chocolate things you said I could have one? That's why I didn't buy any. Did you already eat them?
What?
Look at that. Can't trust her. Can't trust her for shit. Yeah, you were like, I'll give you one. I was like, cool, then I don't have to buy any.
Oh, I'm the worst.
You kind
I
of
will
are.
triple check whenever I get home because there might be one left. And if there is, I will special deliver it to your house.
It's okay. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
But so,
Okay,
keep this shit.
Moral of that story.
So as soon as we get into the hotel, which we weren't there much, we already knew. It was, what was it, a Best Western?
I was going to say we just weren't going to name the name, but yeah.
I don't give a fuck. It was the Best Western.
Yes.
So we already knew this wasn't going to be like a lavish affair. Like
Yeah,
we weren't fucking using points here.
Yeah, and I've never had a bad experience there. Like, I've stayed at every hotel ever almost, and like that brand has never. This was different.
Anyway, as soon as we get there, we're both like, hey, it's time to urinate. Time to pee. We go in there, we pee. I'm the first one to use the restroom, flush a toilet, don't think anything of it, go out of the bathroom. Heather goes in there and she's like, do you not know how to flush a toilet? I was like, I thought I had. She uses the restroom. And then she's like, yo, the toilet's broken. This is about 1 o'clock. We're like, oh, fuck, the toilet's broken. We go down there, we let them know, toilet's broken. 1 o'clock. We're literally there for one night. Man, we come back at 7 p.m. There's no note, no information about it. We go back to use the restroom and we're like, cool, the toilet still doesn't work. But we didn't notice for whatever reason until it was like later on. Like it was later in the experience. The phone rings at 9:30 p.m. And I'm like, Heather, it's a murderer. I was like, I do not answer phones. I was like, Heather, ma'am. And she's like, oh, just give me the phone. She reaches over and grabs it. And I'm like, what is happening? It was all over the toilet.
Yeah, they called and they were like, oh, well, we tried to fix it and we couldn't fix it. And he even went to Lowe's and got a part and he worked on it for an hour. We're going to have to take the whole toilet out of the floor. We have another room for you. I was like, dude, we've been going all day. We are in bed.
We are 37 and 39.
Right.
You think
that's irrelevant.
that we can leave A hotel room at 9:30. We have unpacked. We have strewn a boot.
Yeah.
Our items.
Because it takes me 3.8 seconds
to just obliterate a space.
Will's just as bad as me. So when we go to a hotel, it literally, all of my shit is all out within like 10 minutes of me entering any space that I've rented for a room.
I have realized, so number one, okay, I'm going to first comment on that one. Because of 2 weeks of my honeymoon living in a small space, I don't know if you've noticed this in the hotels that we've stayed in, I no longer make a big, I used to be a big mess with you. Like, do you remember we used to go into these hotel rooms and it would take 2 seconds before it looked like somebody went through all of our shit and just threw it everywhere?
Yes.
From my honeymoon, I do not make messes in hotel rooms anymore with my shit because I could not do it on the honeymoon. There's not enough space. When this is the only table you have the whole fucking time for your makeup, please believe that you will put up your shit after every time you use it. So I was not a messy participant this time, which thank goodness. But Heather had her own little space over to the side. But that meant we had to pee.
I camped. I kept telling everyone, listen.
Oh my God.
I kept telling her, I'm camping.
And it made me want to choke her every time.
Yes, because we
were
don't
not
have
camping.
Indoor plumbing. Like that's bare minimums when I go stay in a space. And we literally were just sleeping there.
Yes.
Like just somewhere to lay
We
our
weren't even
heads.
drinking, so it's not like we were like
oh my gosh,
peeing every 5 seconds.
I would have had to just sit in the shower and drink White Claws, and I would just pee in the shower, like, and make you come in there and talk to me. There's no way. If I was drinking White Claws, I pee like every 10 minutes. So, and you naturally
like
pee
all water.
every 10
I know, I
minutes.
peed too fucking much.
So,
man.
like, luckily we
it was terrible.
It wasn't
At one
fun.
point, I was like, it just smells like piss in this bathroom.
Oh.
We were just what did you say? We were cutting the pee by like flushing the toilet.
Would try.
And some water would come in.
Some water would come up, so we had to play that game that's on like TikTok where they drip to see who overflows. I'm glad that neither one of us had the stomach, but oh my gosh, I can't. Anyway,
that was, and then a part of the fucking mirror.
The mirror fell, and they just left it. It was a journey wrapped in a riddle. So
it was a great hotel stay.
Yes, the Ritz Carlton. If you need some real estate. Go buy that hotel and flip it.
It was a great, I mean,
the girl the next day made it right, but the lady at nighttime was basically like, oh, sorry. And I'm like, that's it.
Don't you realize like having a running toilet is the bare minimums?
Even
the
like
bare minimums.
A 1-star motel has that.
Got lucky. I didn't have to poops.
So that's what
I know. I was just pleased I didn't have to use the potty.
I mean, that's
because, look at this shit. I'll be honest with you guys. In the dark, you couldn't throw toilet paper. You couldn't throw toilet paper in the toilet because obviously that was going to make this a less attractive experience, which was already gross and terrible. Luckily, we're best friends and
our indoor outhouse.
Everything's yes. I just started, and because I have to pee 10 times because I'm pretty sure there's something wrong with me, I would just throw my toilet paper in the shower.
She sure did. She sure did.
It was too dark and I couldn't see where the trash can was. So I was literally like, you know what? Fuck this place. And I just threw my toilet paper in the shower.
And the funny part about that is when because I wake up like early and try to get ready so I'm not in anybody's way. And I got up and I went to go use the indoor outhouse. And then I didn't even know you were awake. I didn't know you were awake. And then all of a sudden I shut the door and I hear this little voice from the bed outside the door that goes, I threw my toilet paper in the shower. And it was the funny because I'm like,
because you turned on the light and I knew she was gonna see it. And I was like, I didn't see it.
She owned up, and it was so funny. Like, and I go, "Yep, you sure."
I didn't want you to think that it was like I blew my nose. I didn't want you to pick up my pee toilet paper.
Either way, I'm not gonna grab wadded up toilet paper out of a shower, especially when I went to bed. It wasn't there. One. It was not there when I went to bed. Two, the things that we had to have done to survive when I roughed it.
Yes.
Like, I don't work there. I'm not cleaning that up out of the shower.
Dude, I hear you.
But I appreciate the heads up because it made me laugh.
I'm glad.
Anyway, we're survivors.
Yeah.
Very brave.
Super brave. All right, I'm going to tell you a story.
Are you? That's good.
I am. And I'm going to try not to cough the whole time. You guys, there's nothing I can do about it. There's literally nothing.
You want to take a hit?
Maybe you should change the fan to only on you because I feel like it's like blowing goodness into my throat. I'm going. That sounded good. You want to just shut that off? Pretty please. For the sake of the length of the episode, will you go turn off that fan from me?
I just need.
Yes. Thank you. I'm like, I don't know what it is.
Goodness blown into your throat.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes, I am. Okay. So my works cited page is
Okay.
Wikipedia, CNN, V News, CBS, and WMUR. I also looked at the Dartmouth. I'm going to struggle so hard, but I only have to say that like 3 times. The Dartmouth College Remembrance page.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of the Dartmouth College Murders?
No.
I don't want to say Dartmouth because that's wrong.
That is
Dartmouth?
incorrect.
Yes.
Yes.
Dartmouth.
Yes.
I think you just have to say it fast. The Dartmouth
It's like
Murders.
Worcestershire.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Do you know those?
No.
Okay.
It's like, no, I said that.
Okay, so we have Half Zantop. He was born in Germany in 1938. He earned his undergraduate degree in geology from Freiburg University. He then studied at Washington State University and earned a PhD from the School of Earth Sciences at Stanford University in 1969. So we got a smarty pants.
Smarty.
We have got a foxy smarty pants.
Yeah, and he's got like a hot German name.
Half
Yeah.
Zantop.
That's a very, in my head, he is a very
He's super hot.
attractive.
He is.
Can I Google it?
Yeah, sure. Go for
cool.
it. His future wife, Suzanne Albrecht, was born in Kinzingen. It's hard, guys. It's in Germany. In 1945. She was super warm, intelligent, and passionate. She enrolled at the Free University of Berlin, where she majored in political science. She then began working on her master's degree in political science at Stanford University. Smarty pants.
Yeah.
Here she meets the kind and thoughtful Hoff, and they fell madly in love. Their passion for academic excellence made them stand out in their careers, and I could just imagine how fucking cool they were. They were both kind and generous. They had a thirst for knowledge, which I think is the coolest coolest possible trait, and also a super fuckable trait. Let's be honest. I bet their conversations at dinner parties were like super lit and they were really, really cool.
I was really thinking that. I'm like, I bet they have really
so
great
cool.
conversations. And I would just be like,
Just like thirsty for knowledge, and they're
whole
just
time.
dropping bombs of facts at me.
And then
I'm
I
like,
come in and
give me them.
I'll be like, you know what I saw on Bravo? Like,
I feel that the Kardashians,
Yeah.
they just,
so Chloe this week.
right?
Right.
And they're like, there's a fracking issue. Okay. I also wrote in here, I bet they were fucking super cool and they were charismatic and smoked cigarettes and they like fucking drank wine and it was by a fireplace. I feel like that's what they
Yeah.
did. And I don't even think they smoke cigarettes. I have no idea if they were smokers, but in this version, they smoke and they smoke indoors
Oh, in your
with
head
novels.
version.
Yeah. In my version, that is what they do.
Okay.
But whatever. They were married in 1970. They had 2 daughters, Veronica and Mariana. They stayed very private later in their life, but they were well educated and interesting women in their own right. They're actually the fucking tits. I'm a huge fan of them. Hoff was hired by Dartmouth College in 1976, where he taught geology and earth science and was popular among many of his students. Susan, or Suzanne, I don't know why I decided to put Susan there. She earned a PhD from fucking Harvard University in 1984 in German and Spanish, and afterwards taught in the German department at Dartmouth, where she was the department chair for a time.
Whoa.
Once more, her degrees were in political science, and then she's like, well, let me just go to Harvard here and do all this other stuff. I mean, so fucking smart.
Right.
They were also known for their hospitality as well as the fact that they like welcomed their students into their home. They were super supportive. They had a very stimulating environment and they were just really nurturing and mentoring their students and just everyone that was in their life. Like they were just literally the fucking tits.
Oh, so like they sound very genuine.
Yes.
Yeah.
They had a huge enthusiasm for teaching and they made a great impact with their students. Hoff was patient and he was deeply ethical, and that would make a lot of sense because he was like an earth science major. And apparently he was really, really funny. Which
Oh, love that.
makes me happy
Smart
too.
and funny.
Right?
I
And he
know.
looked like he was probably tall. I don't know for a fact, but he looked pretty tall. I know. From what I read, they were just like the most amazing human beings known to man, and anyone who knew them like was just a fucking lucky person. So in 2000, they had begun discussing retirement in their near future, and that was like a plan. In walks James J. Parker and Robert W. Tulloch to our story. They were friends who were both from Chelsea, Vermont, and currently living there. By all accounts, they were generally seen as intelligent and well-liked in their community. Robert was 17 at the time of everything I'm going to tell you about. He was also more ambitious, and he was really eager to leave the small town. James was considered more passive and impressionable, and he was 16.
Oh.
All right. James, 16, impressionable. Robert, 17, ambitious. Being bored of their small town life, they created a plan.
That's never good.
No, it wasn't to get on TikTok, which would have been the thing if it was not in 2001. But they decided that the best thing to do is to rob strangers by posing as students doing a research study for a school survey.
What?
Their plan is to catch them off guard, threaten them to reveal their PIN numbers for their credit cards, and then, because you can't just leave, they want to kill them.
What?
I don't understand. Jason Derulo.
Go spray paint on something. Like,
well, they want money.
I know. I'm just like, go do. I don't know.
I don't know. Sell arts and crafts on Etsy. Damn it.
Very escalated teen angst.
I knew angst was coming.
Yeah. Well, it sounds angsty.
So they believed that they needed $10,000 so that they could move to Australia. I don't know why Australia was what it was. Why is that so funny?
Just random as fuck.
Not really. It's a really well-desired location to live in.
I would love to do that as well. It's just very like it went from these like 16 and 17. You don't think I don't know. This is just,
totally at 17. I moved to Miami and like 100%. That's the place I pictured in my mind as the greatest place to live. And I was 16 when I decided to go. Like, that was my plan. So like, I get it. They believe a better life, more interesting life is going to be in Australia. Now, I wanted to know how much research they put in this. So I didn't call them. I don't fucking know. But what I did do is ask ChatGPT. I was like, how much does it cost? How much did it cost for a round trip ticket from the United States to Australia in 2001? It was roughly $1,200 to $2,500. So $10,000 probably wasn't the dollar amount that they were looking for. But I understand them trying. I thought was compiled. So they were widely known. There's no widely known history of either one of these guys having any violent streaks and or like shitty upbringings. It's another reason why everything that I'm about to tell you was just so fucking crazy.
That's what I don't understand about how they go from nothing to they're like, you know what we should do? We're
Why
going to go to
kill them?
Australia. We're going to kill people. We're going to do, and like, what?
I totally get the wanting to move.
Like
and
having
wanting to
the
move
dreams
there.
part, it's just their journey
They're so
to
young.
get there. Like,
It's
what?
like,
I don't know. It's weird.
I'm going to get into it as well because at some point, fuck it, I'll just tell you now. At some point, fucking James Parker's vehicle was a motherfucking Audi. Sell the goddamn Audi. I need to stop with this GD. I've been GDing and I like to say fuck and shit and every bad word, but I don't like the GD and it keeps popping out of my mouth. I'm sorry. I'll do better. But I don't understand it. Sell the fucking Audi.
Right.
Or if you have an Audi, I'm pretty sure Mr. and Mrs. Parker will help you.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's what the part that's like.
None of it makes...
It's nonsense.
Their timeline is stupid.
It's nonsense.
Anyway.
Yes.
Based on what I'm about to tell you, their premeditated plan to commit robbery and their willingness to resort to murder suggests a capacity, obviously, for extreme violence that somehow was not previously observed. So at the end of the day, I don't know if they were like fucking clawing out eyeballs and magazines and hiding it underneath their mattress. I don't fucking know. So on January 27th, 2001, James and Robert knock on the door of the Zantop residence. As they act like they're these students doing this research project about an environmental study. They had no idea they were in the home of two extremely well-educated professors from an esteemed university, with one being an earth science professor.
Right. Walked right into the belly of the beast.
Yeah, this would basically mean you probably would have need to have done more research.
Yeah.
For what you're stating you're there to do.
Yeah.
So Hoff is the one that lets them in, and Suzanne was preparing a dish in the kitchen because they had a dinner party that night. Another item to note here is that there's people coming to their house, and they're coming to their house within hours. Just as a heads up. Now, Robert allegedly gets pissed off because Hoff, who is literally being the earth science professor that he was, told him that he needed to be more prepared for questions on this research.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Because probably like, so we were thinking that like there's a fracking issue in Ukraine, random fucking place in Piggy, and they're like, really, why do you deem that to be? And you got the worst person in the world. My goodness,
right?
If I was going to pick something, I mean, I guess you probably thought you could have bullshitted your way through that one.
With a normal person, possibly.
Or with a less than average person. But they wouldn't be in a house that you wanted to rob.
That's the worst one I could have walked into.
I don't know what, I just don't know. I don't know what you could have come up and made up random numbers and stats and information in any capacity where their home is pretty enough that you want to rob them. It's not the Bronx and the ghetto. Like, you can probably come in here and say fracking and you already lost them. But I don't know. And no offense to anyone in the Bronx. I don't know anything about your life. Or how much you know about fracking and why the only thing I picked in here was fracking.
I don't even know what that is and I live here.
You got to watch Landman. Okay. So Robert attacks Hoff with an SOG knife, which we're becoming very familiar with SOG knives. Those are like the big hunting knives. And he repeatedly stabs him when he had turned away to look for a phone number. Sweet Hoff, the most amazing man ever, was repeatedly stabbed in the chest and the face. Robert accidentally cut his own leg in the process, which is fabulous news. Stupid fucking cunt. Suzanne, who's in the kitchen, hears all of this and she runs in trying to stop him. Oh. And James Parker stabs and injures her, supposedly because Robert had told him to. Now, Robert then went and stabbed our angel in the body and in her head, killing her as well.
Oh, God.
They leave the house covered in bud. Or smoky house. They're covered in blood. They only take...
So sad.
Which, not only, but they got $340 in cash that was in and Hoff's wallet. So it was in his wallet and it was his wallet. I thought that was a ton of cash. So then I needed to know. It was 24 years ago, but it seemed like a lot. So I just... In the U.S., on average, people have... currently to date, $50 to $100 cash on them. So it's not as easy to rob people.
Right.
You got to get them for jewelry. You got to get them for Apple Watches, for that Birkin bag. But at the end of the day, you steal a wallet. Those cards are closed in 3 minutes. There ain't no cash on them. Right. If you're lucky, you're going to get $5. Anywho, so these boys, which I put / young children, because they're fucking little kids, they leave the home and they make a crucial error. Brava.
Wonderboy Media is not only the proud producer of this glorious magic imploring your ear holes right now, but they're also a big deal.
Get in touch with them today to make all of your dreams a freaking reality.
From using their bangin' ass podcast studio,
where we are right now,
to creating amazing videos and editing our content like the mystical mavericks they are.
Your podcast can go further when you have a Wonder Boy.
Hit up Drew today at WBOYmedia.com.
Or text him day or night at 270.
Just kidding.
Get ready, outdoor enthusiasts. The Western Kentucky Outdoor Expo is coming to Owensboro Convention Center on April 12th and 13th. Explore RVs, boats, hunting gear, side-by-sides, and more, all in one place. And best of all, it's free. Don't miss this ultimate outdoor adventure. Learn more at westernkyoutdoorexpo.com or follow us on Facebook. We'll see you there. The Zantop's friend, Roxana Verona.
Okay, I kind of like that name.
I do too. It's about to be my second personality.
I know. Oh.
Or maybe my fourth, because I already have two other ones.
I was going to call that, but okay.
I'm going to name a plant after her. Roxana Verona.
Wait, do we like this person?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, she just came over to the dinner party.
Oh, okay.
That's all she did. Yeah, she was there to come over for that dinner party.
Okay. So
she walked in on the scene, which is definitely a fucking horror movie.
Right.
And then she calls the cops immediately. When the boys left, I have no idea how long it took them to realize that they left their knife sheaths there. But by the time they realized they left it there and went back to the house, the cops were already there. That's how quick. Like, it wasn't like they did this. I don't know what January 27th was, like what day of the week, but it wasn't them waiting for like the next day. Because they didn't go to work, a wellness check. It was literally they were having people over.
Yeah.
Let's see how the cops twist who could have possibly done this. At first, they speculated that it was a crime of passion by someone having an affair with Hoff.
Oh.
But that idea was disproved really quickly. But I don't blame him because Hoff was Hoff and sexy.
Right. Don't hassle the Hoff.
Oh,
I feel like
I would hassle that Hoff. You know what I'm saying? That Hoff could be hassled.
No, what are you saying? Explain.
This is not a PG rated R.
Blowing. Well, you've already said you were getting pleasure blown down your throat or whatever you said earlier.
It'd be like a warm tea would be that right now.
Ooh, spicy.
Dude, it would soothe. It would be soothing. Anyway.
Yeah.
There was
sorry, I was just going to say I can see where they got that because it looks very passionate for.
Yeah, especially like stabbed in the face, 100%. There were several false leads throughout the initial part of the investigation. The Associated Press reported at least 3 persons of interest were interviewed by police, and that a task force set up after the murders also received hundreds of phone calls, letters, and emails from people with wild theories about the killings. At the scene, they found a bloody footprint and the 2 distinctive knife sheaths. 3 weeks after the heinous murders, the police traced the knives to 16-year-old James Parker. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh.
The cops are not suspecting these boys at all.
I mean, why would you?
Why the fuck would you?
Why would you?
And when the photos pop up and you're like, damn, that's what they look like, I wouldn't guess it either. Robert has like a super cunty air about him, but James, like, I would have totally been friends with. James dated a cheerleader. Robert probably had an abusive dad. I don't know that, but he looks like he would have played that in a movie. You know what I'm saying? Like one of those Hallmark kids, kind of angry, angsty. His dad kicks him in the ribs because he gets too drunk and he ran out of Marlboro Reds. Anyway, one of those. Okay. They just can't imagine that these kids did it. So according to James, when he was interviewed, he had an alibi for the time of the crime. And he said that he bought the knives with his friend, Robert Tulloch, so that they could build a fort. How cute. He claimed that they sold them at a surplus store after finding they were too heavy. Pussy bitches, lift some weights. He had also never gotten into trouble at school or in the community. And he also agreed to undergo the fingerprinting.
Oh.
Then they went to Robert's house. They told Robert he didn't have to speak with him. Once more, they didn't think he did it. And they told him, like, hey, you don't have to do this without a lawyer. He breezily told them the same story as had James. When they asked about the deep cut above his right knee, he told them that he had slipped on a rock and cut himself on a metal spigot.
Oh.
Not a bad lie.
I mean,
I will have to say, not a bad lie.
building the fort with the knives they couldn't hold and
Tripping on a spigot. Tripping on a spigot.
that sounds like a Luke Bryan song.
It's possible. So when they asked to fingerprint him and borrow boots for matching purposes, he signed a search warrant. He was like, do it. Shit happening.
Oh.
The same request had not been made of James, though, if you remember. Like, he was just kind of interviewed. Apparently, they had phoned another detective and asked him for his version of the story. And they were like, maybe we should look a little further. So I don't know who this detective was.
Okay.
But they were literally interviewing him, and they called a detective, and they were like, what do you think? And the detective was like, I think you should get a warrant. I think you should test the boots.
Smart.
So, undisclosed detective, phone call, sir. Way to go. Way to go. The next day, the bros flee. Their parents are like, what the fuck? So James writes a note, and it says,
Oh, no.
don't call the cops. What? James's father quickly did.
Dad, don't. He's like, yeah, no.
You know, I have questions. Questions. Right. Was that the only note? And where was it put? And how do you know that he left?
How do you sign off on a note that says don't call the cops? Love your son.
Yeah.
Like,
James.
peace out. I don't.
Please, thanks.
J money.
I don't know.
What do people say back then? Talk to the hand. No, that was the 90s.
I was like, I don't even know what you're saying right now. I have no idea. But I would just like, what did he put it on his bed? Did he make his bed and then put don't call the cops?
If he's killing people, he's not making his bed.
Or like, why didn't he say like, hey, I'm sorry, I did something naughty. I'm sorry. Dad, please don't call the cops. But if it's like just a don't call the cops, someone's going to call the fucking cops.
And then the cops come and he's like, well, my son told me not to in a note. So I
took
didn't.
the car. Right.
He runs the show. So dumb.
I know.
This story's making me mad.
So by this time, the police found that Robert Tulloch's boot prints matched those found at the Zantop's home. So they're already there. Fingerprints taken from the 2 youths match those at the crime scene as well. We're locked. We're loaded. We got it.
All right.
A warrant was put out for Tulloch's arrest. Parker, still a minor, was sought for questioning of the murders. Believing that police would be looking for their car, the pair abandoned Parker's silver motherfucking Audi.
That they could have sold for plane tickets.
But I'm also like, was this Daddy Parker's Audi? Because I bet this was your dad's.
I'm going to guess yes.
I'm going to guess. I'm making assumptions. They abandoned it at a truck stop in Sturbridge, Massachusetts, intending to hitchhike to California. Oh, and that was the other thing, too. I was like, you're a whiny little fuck. I wrote, oh, my gosh, you whiny little fuck. You're bitchy that your life is boring in Vermont that literally has the best leaf peeping out there. They have fluffy pancakes, and they have really good syrup, and they have nice blueberries.
I want to go.
What are you bitching about?
Oh, I'm not.
I don't know. I'm just mad. Your boring life is the life that like has an entire channel on the Lifetime and the Hallmark, all striving for that. Some stupid bitches. Anyway, a truck driver who picked them up in New Jersey announced their intent to travel west via CB radio.
Oh.
A police officer pretending to be a truck driver offered to pick them up.
Oh.
At the Flying J truck stop in Spiceland, Indiana. Did anyone know we had a Spiceland, Indiana?
No, but I would love to go.
We shall.
Okay.
Alexa, put Spiceland, Indiana on the to-do list.
Oh, my.
That probably annoyed everyone's phone. Sorry, everyone. Now everyone has to go to Spiceland, Indiana.
Meet you there.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be fun. The pair was captured and taken into custody by authorities. All right. The 2 youths were indicted on a slew of charges.
They were indicated by getting arrested. That's how they were tipped off that they were going to be indicted.
Yes.
I closed that loop for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The indictment said that they had made 4 previous tries over 6 months to gain entry to houses in the area in Vermont and New Hampshire with the intent of robbing their victims, getting their ATM cards and passwords, and then killing them. So in the first case on July 19th of 2000, they cut the telephone wires to a house in Vershire, Vermont. Robert knocked on the door and tried to gain entry with a story about his car having broken down, but the homeowner was not having it, and they said no.
They're like, no, we're sorry.
No. You look angsty, kid.
I think I'd be like, you wait here, I'll call somebody.
I don't know, man.
I wouldn't even answer the door.
I don't let people in.
No.
I get weird feelings of people, and I don't let them in the house.
Well, Trixie, my dog, doesn't let people in our house, so they'd be
That's
like,
special.
you know what?
Everything's fine.
I bet she doesn't even have an ATM card. We're just gonna go.
Yes.
That dog's gonna eat my face.
Yeah. You know, this one time, as I'm going to just take a moment.
Let's go.
This one dude was like in my neighborhood, and he was selling like spray that gets grime off of your concrete.
Okay.
He was trying to sell me on it. And I was like, no, really, I'm fine. I'm saving money. And he was like, he asked for water or something. But basically, like, he was trying to like semi-gain entry to my house.
Right.
Like, I could feel that. And I was like, I'll bring you water out. Well, then he was like, so you're telling me you can't afford this stuff if you were able to build this house? And was like asking me if I lived with anyone and like all this shit. And this was when I first moved in there, and I was super alone, and I didn't like know anyone in the neighborhood or anything. Because I would have been like, at this point, I would have been like, Drew, can you come over and act like you live here? And just, can you come over? Bring the truck. Just look, can you park your car? I'm going to drive you home for the night.
Oh my God.
And I'll bring you to your truck. Like, I would do so much different shit now to make sure that it looked like I had somebody like there.
I'd be like, yeah, I live with 9 semi-pro rugby players. They're all at practice. They're going to be home. Oh, they're going to be home in 10 minutes.
And Drew comes by.
Yeah, and they just got back from the shooting range, apparently. So are you going to stay or?
I don't know. That was like the one time that I felt so weird. Like, that dude
That
really
is
creeped me out.
very case in your joint.
Yes.
That. So,
Yeah, so
way to be smart.
Well, in that moment, and that was way before our true crime podcast. I was literally like 8 years ago. I could feel it. And I was like, you are trying to do something.
Your gut knows.
Yeah. Always remind people. So don't let people in. It's almost worth if you were really questioning if somebody needed help and you were going to like call, because it's really easy for someone to push through your door. We all know that.
Right.
But if that was the case, What's the worst thing that could happen if they took your phone? Like if you were on the edge, right? And you're like, oh, I don't want them to steal my phone. I'd rather have someone steal my phone than my life.
Right.
If I felt so obligated to helping.
Yeah, 24 years ago, I'd be like, wait right here, lock the door, go in and call the cops. Be like, yeah, I'll go call somebody. And I'd call the cops because they can help. Call the non-emergency police station line and be like, someone's out here says that there you go. They'll send a patrol person.
Very true.
That's what you can do.
Very true.
The more you know.
Right.
Shooting star.
Okay, so apparently a lot of the other homeowners who kind of went through the same experience, they all denied entry. In those 3 other instances. The only one to successfully invite them in was the Zantop, sadly.
Man, and do you think it had anything to do with
Their students?
They were students
doing an environmental study.
I think that would, like, I wonder if they didn't know, like, was this at random?
Yeah, they picked the house because of where it was located and because it was really pretty.
So they
had no idea that they both
odds
worked
of
it.
that
Yeah.
suck for that family
Yep.
because if they wouldn't have, I'm mad.
They were the only ones to let them in, and they let them in because they were students and it was on a
Right.
research study. 100%.
So sad.
100%. After the 2 young men were captured and jailed pending trial, the prosecution charged Parker as an adult because of the severity of the crime, making him liable to stand trial. He made a plea bargain with the state in which he would testify against Robert Tulloch as a witness, plead guilty to second-degree murder, and receive a maximum sentence of 25 years to life with the possibility of parole after 16 years. Fun addition, the profits from any book deals or movie offers that he might agree to will go directly to the Zantop's children, Veronica and Mariana.
That's good.
Robert Tulloch's lawyer tried without success to have Tulloch certified as suffering from mental illness in order to use the insanity defense.
Of course they did. Where are all the straws that they're grabbing at? Because that's what they're paid to do.
Yeah, and really he was just a fucking cunt.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Is it because most of my stories make you mad? So then you're like, I'm going to do one to make, because this one's like making me mad. And normally I don't get too angry and feisty, but I was invested in the victims.
Yeah, the victims are amazing.
Right. And all of them, you know what I mean?
Of
all
course.
of them I am. But this one I was rooting for him. And I'm like, I already know this is going to be bad.
Right. It's hard whenever people are just really fucking amazing people.
Right. And
sometimes the people who die, who are in these stories, the victims, sometimes they are not the most stellar human beings.
Right.
Or they were abusers, or they were whatever it was. It's really hard whenever they're just down home, good, great people.
And yeah.
And especially whenever they love students and they love teaching and they have such a great environment, and then they bring,
their 100%. Big hearts got.
Yeah, the best of them.
Yeah.
But I would have, if it was 2 students, I get unless the kid, it depends. It really depends. I probably would have let them in too.
I don't know.
To be honest with you.
I don't open my door anymore, but I probably would.
No one knocks on the door trying to gain entry anymore.
Right.
Like, you're not trying to come over. No.
Yeah. I could just turn the alarm on the Ring doorbell and they'd run away.
Yeah. I also
I did that to somebody one time. They came to my house 5 times in a week and they were trying to sell me lawn treatment. And I was like, you've left 4 door hangers already. So the 5th one I turned on the alarm, and he was like, because you can't see where our camera is.
I'm sure your dog loved that.
Oh, she was pissed for like 2 hours. Like, I had to give her a doggy Xanax.
I believe that.
Yeah. We're derailing. Sorry. I'll keep my mouth shut.
Okay. So the insanity defense, obviously he was not fucking suffering from mental illness. Right. He was just a complete cuntbag. He pled guilty to first-degree murder. During the sentencing hearing, James cried, and by all basic standards, he expressed remorse during his apology for his part in the killings. Like, dude was torn the fuck up. He received 25 years with a possibility, once again, I said it, parole at 16 years. After Robert's guilty plea, he was sentenced to life imprisonment without parole, which is hard to do at 17 years old.
Right.
And he showed no emotion at all.
Really?
And he did not make a statement. Didn't even make a statement.
Life away, didn't say sorry.
Nope. James Parker was held in the New Hampshire State Prison for Men in Concord and was classified as a custody level 3 prisoner, medium custody, which meant that he had freedom to move within the prison except for head counts and lockdowns at night. This classification allows inmates to leave their cells into the mandatory lockdown at 11 p.m. Basically at a hotel. They probably had flushing toilets.
I bet their toilet flushed. They probably didn't have to throw their toilet paper in the shower.
Here's a plot twist. Maybe Maybe
What?
not.
Why?
I don't know. I'm going to give you one.
Oh, okay.
Because this is, I didn't make this up.
That's good.
This is not I didn't make this up.
Okay.
So James Parker, he ends up earning a bachelor's degree and a master's degree in prison in management, at the New England College. He also created paintings that are still displayed in the building. He's been a part of theatrical, musical, and sports activities, and he's helped to develop inmate education guidelines.
So he actually
He went to jail.
Rehabilitated.
Yes.
Which is rare for incarcerated inmates.
Especially at the age of 16.
Right. So that's,
Yeah.
I mean, a silver lining.
A huge
of
silver
a
lining. Apparently
terrible
became like
story.
a great artist too. Like he really tried. He got a fucking master's degree.
Right.
Which I'm like, what else
He
are you
still
gonna
did
do?
something shitty, but
Right. At his parole hearing, he told the parole board the crime he committed was unimaginably horrible. Quote, I know there's not an amount of time or things that I can do to change it or alleviate any pain that I've caused. He said, I'm just deeply sorry. He had tried to get a sentence reduction in 2018. Under the law, he was eligible to do so because he had served 2/3 of his term, but he withdrew the petition. He withdrew the petition in 2019 after the Zantop's 2 daughters objected it.
wow. So they were like, we don't want you out. And he was like, you know what? I'll take it back then.
Yep.
I mean, for doing such a shitty thing, at least he's doing literally everything you possibly could to
Yes.
try to make it. You
Make
can't
amends
correct
and what-
that,
right.
but at least that's rare.
Another reason why I really like this story.
Yeah,
Was
it's
because
very, very rare
Yeah.
that you hear that.
On April 18th, 2024, James Parker was granted parole and he was released in June of last year.
So last year.
Tulloch is held. Let me see if I cover that. Okay, so I think I quoted it. God, Ash, I have to look. I'm going to wait, and then if I didn't, I'll let you know.
Let me scoot to the edge of my seat.
Well, because it's
No,
it's information from the daughter's viewpoint of it.
Oh, yeah. I hope
Tulloch
you did.
is held in the New Hampshire State Prison for Men in Concord after beginning his sentence at the Northern New Hampshire Correctional Facility in Berlin. While Parker was incarcerated, both ate meals in the same chow hall at the same time. However, they did not talk.
It'd be hard to sit. Oh, that would be.
He's the
Especially if he
reason.
flipped his
It was
life
his
around
idea.
so hard.
He followed him.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. He was in custody, level 3, medium 2. In 2012, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled Miller versus Alabama that mandatory sentencing to life imprisonment without parole of persons who committed a crime as juveniles was unconstitutional. We've heard this before. It ruled that this decision needed to be applied retroactively with cases to be reviewed of persons sentenced to life without parole for crimes committed as juveniles. We know this. We talk about it in every episode where a youth kills.
Right.
The ruling was based on scientific studies that have shown conclusively that juvenile brains are still unformed. So the high court based their decision on the basis that juvenile offenders have diminished culpability and greater prospects for reform. And judges should be able to consider this as mitigating qualities of youth in sentencing. In August of 2014, the New Hampshire... Oh my gosh, I'm trying so hard not to cough. It's like painful.
Man, I feel bad for you.
I don't know. You know, I haven't talked this much today and I've had a really bad cough, but I haven't talked. So it wasn't as bad as talking a ton. Or I would have been like, swap-a-roo. Read my story. In August 2014, the New Hampshire Supreme Court ruled that Tulloch's case would be among 4 to be reviewed by the court for resentencing. The initial review had been appealed by the state attorney general. Parker was not affected by this ruling because he was not charged with first-degree murder, an adult charge that carries a mandatory life without parole sentence. After review of different factors in the case, the court could again resentence Robert to life imprisonment without parole or could impose a different sentence. Robert's resentencing hearing was scheduled for July of 2024, and it was later pushed back in September of 24. A resentencing hearing was held on September 25th of last year, 2024, with the judge taking the arguments of the prosecutor and defense under advisement. There is no new news on this topic. They had the resentencing hearing.
So what do they do after
It's
that?
September. Dude, it's only been 4 months.
I know, but
Nothing
they
has
don't
been
decide
ruled
that
yet.
day, or they're
No.
like, I'll get back to you.
I wasn't there. I don't know.
No, I'm just curious how that works. Because, well, here's the thing too, though. Like, it's just like on fucking TV. Like, you think
Yeah.
Because TV's got us trained to where you think everything happens so fast, like Law and Order. You're like, oh, they could solve it in an hour. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like in my head, I'm like, you think they would know that day.
I would have thought that too, but
Apparently not. And I'm not in a rush for them to
he was also older,
decide.
and
so.
he was the one who actually committed
I'm
all the
like,
crimes.
take your time, Judge.
And he showed no remorse.
Right.
So-
That's why I'm like,
Go sit in the corner, fucker.
I didn't mean speed it up. I was just curious. Like, they can take their fucking time.
Random fact. One of the prosecutors in this case was Assistant Attorney General Kelly Ayotte. I don't fucking know how to say that. She was later appointed as New Hampshire Attorney General. Later, she was elected to the U.S. Senate. In 2025, she became the governor of the state of New Hampshire.
Whoa, that's awesome.
All right, I took the rest of this word for word from V News, so it's basically a quote.
Okay.
It's not about revenge. For every collective year he's in jail, it is not going to make me feel better about what happened. This is what their daughter said. I wonder if I wrote her name. I know which one it is. Veronica? It was Veronica. Okay, so she is 52 now. She's a psychiatrist in Seattle and a mother of 2 young boys. Boys. She was 29 at the time her parents were murdered and serving a medical residency in Seattle. She said that the intervening years have added perspective and her emotions have evolved. Quote, since it happened, I've become a mother. I've become a psychiatrist. And I realize that the world is complex and teenagers are complex. And maybe some of the thoughts I had at the time have changed in terms of compassion for his family and even him at age 16 doing something terrible. She noted, end quote, sorry. She noted that when Parker previously came up for parole in 2019, they did not publicly oppose it, and that is why he carried on and was able to get out.
Wow.
Actually, she says that they didn't publicly oppose it, but that is why he didn't end up doing it. So she wrote in as well that she goes, at this point, I've really thought about it, and maybe it is time for him to be able to have a life too.
Wow. That's that takes a strong person.
Yeah, and in a lot of time. You know, time heals a lot of wounds.
Yeah. And she probably learned it. I mean, she got good genes too,
Yeah.
so you know she's smart as fuck. Like,
Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'd be really blown away if you were not intelligent when you're coming from like seedlings of knowledge.
Exactly. Wow.
That is the shitty Dartmouth College Murders, where we lost sweet little Suzanne and Half Zantop.
Man. I mean, I'd never heard that one before, but I'm definitely going to go Google the victims because they sound like
They were awesome.
really awesome humans that have interesting biographies.
Yes.
Whew. And those kids, okay. I'm mad now. I'm mad just because the reason was money, but like you said, if he had that kind of a nice car, like, ask your
robbed a place.
parents, rob a place, mow some fucking lawns like everybody else, like do something.
Yeah, you weren't even
Shit.
out of school yet.
Right.
Like, technically.
Yeah.
So you really didn't get to leave yet, you stupid fucking cunts.
Yeah.
My gosh.
Yeah.
Robbing and stealing is stupid. You had enough time to like save up, start working at fucking
Start working. Yeah.
the grocery store.
Work for
bag some fucking Lay's potato chips.
Right.
Some fucking Pepsis. Shit you can do.
Pepsis.
It's not that hard to save up that much money if that's all you have to do because you're in
Right.
fucking high school.
It's not like he had to pay for a room or board.
Right.
So,
Come on.
okay. Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
You could have been better.
Yeah.
Do better. Be better.
Okay. So, what's your next story right now? You're going to go, I don't know. Your throat seems very.
Did you want me to tell another one?
Yeah. I thought you were doing 2 stories.
Like
today.
all of a sudden now my nose is really stuffy too.
We had a meeting where
I'm sure I sound hot.
we had a meeting where we were going to start doing 2 stories each time we go on the episode.
I would not be able to. Somehow I'm like, I'm going to go work out though. Well, we'll see how this goes.
So like, ma'am, can you put on a mask?
You're heavy breathing. Probably. Well,
Yeah.
you guys, we love you so much. Do not forget to like, rate, review, subscribe. You know, talk about do better, be better.
Right.
Do those things, man.
Yeah. Why don't you be better? Sassholes.
Come on.
I mean, we love you. Just take it up a notch.
Yeah.
How about that?
I mean, what's more, do better, be better. All right. So, fun fact. Whenever I got home last night, I definitely realized that I had left an entire sheet of my research on the printer. Why is that? Because I'm the shit. And so here is me telling you the very last page. I tried to ad-lib it because I knew I was missing a page and tried to act like that didn't happen, but whatever. Here we go. All right, so this was a quote from the daughter, and she said, "We felt strongly that it wasn't our job to comment on whether or not he should be released. And that was the prosecuting attorney's job," she had said. "We acknowledge the collective trauma of his actions. A lot of people did," she said. She recalled how she wrestled with the question internally for months, and a small part of me thought that he should be released and allowed the chance to make a real life for himself. Now that he has that chance, she had a positive sentiment for those who support him. Quote, "I wish James's family the best and hope that they are able to heal. My dad was extremely kind and it got him killed. What he taught me, though, and what I've tried to continue to practice, is that kindness is key, that people are complex, and that it's okay to experience and hold diametrically opposed emotions about situations without there being a right or wrong way to feel." Preach, girl. Get it. So, you guys, I'm going to just wrap that bitch right back up in a bow and say that's the story of the Dartmouth College murders of Susanne and Half Zantop. Since it's me solo, I'm just going to say, okay, I love you, bye.
This episode was sponsored, edited, and produced by Wonderboy Media. Get the deets at wboymedia.com to see how you can make your podcast dreams a reality.
Help us out and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen to our audio project. Don't forget, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at, of course, a couple of Sassholes.
Want more sass? Become a member of our Patreon for bonus content, merch, and more. Plus, we're on Cameo now, so there's even more ways to get the sass you need just how you like it. As always, don't get mad.
Get sassy.
Theodore, can I pet that dog?